I'm a huge fan of the dream. The American dream. So tonight's episode is sponsored by the dream. Cheers. Let's all be adults. Hello, everybody. Gonna give people time to get in chat live. Tonight's episode, it's a banger. It's a who's who, and a who's what, and a oh my God, Becky, look how big her butt is. What's up, Angela? Seriously, she's on my clit. All right. We'll keep it factual tonight. Nothing but the facts. Nothing but them facts. So what's good in the hood? Finally able to catch a live, right? Oh, my West Coast people love this. I think everyone had a fabulous day. I know I had a fabulous day. Hope everybody else did. Cleaning up to do though. Okay. Well, again, welcome, Truth and Transparency. Tonight's episode. What's the title? Oh, tonight we're going to be talking about businessman, myth man, legend, you know, who is Frank Cachopa. We'll call him Mr. C. Mr. C. I got some papers here. I'll be showing you guys. We'll be talking about. I want some help from the audience tonight. So you guys are gonna play along. You guys are gonna help me out here. Let's see. We're gonna start with an article. Actually, I'll give it 30 more seconds before I start. Again, hello to all the baby mamas out there. Woo! Experience an amazing night with us. In Pennsylvania, can you get escorts in Pennsylvania, or is that not a thing? Is that a thing anywhere? Are you allowed to pay for escort services? Or is that no longer a thing? Like, that's a serious question. I have not looked into it yet, but I'm curious if you can do, if I can get if I want to start up a company and call it like MLMs RS or something like that, and it was like an escort service, would that be legal? So I am sure, Philly, you can. Oh, great. That's my next thing. All right, so it has nothing to do with, that's just my random brain. Let's see. Ooh. You know, I guess the best thing to do is talk about the thumbnail, which is, who is Frank Cachopa, businessman, or, who's Frank Cachopa? Why does his name always pop up? What's the deal? Those of you guys that have been following the Rachel Del Tondo case, you will have known from that case that Frank Cachopa was the ex-fiance of Rachel Del Tondo. They were on and off for several years. He was a person, I guess if you want to use the word interest, he was questioned, and they claim that Frank is cleared from Rachel's, I don't know who's clearing anybody, but that is an unsolved homicide, unsolved murder. But there was supposedly evidence of him coming home to his place and, swiping his key card. There is rumors that he was on surveillance cameras, and that he was with his girlfriend at the time, turned baby mama. Now he's afraid of her. Again, 100 pounds soaking wet. But Frank Cachopa, there were some articles out there written about him, Wolf of Alpaca, it was just, I wanted to know myself who Frank Cachopa is. I think everybody should be given a fair shake. And I think I vet people pretty good. So let's just find out who Frank is. Well, the first thing I came across is that Frank is scared of an 100-pound woman that was good enough to birth his 2 children, never put a ring on it, throw her out, and say that, and try to make her unfit to be a mom, but yet was home with your kids morning, noon, and night. She's a registered nurse. Something wasn't adding up there. Either this registered nurse is an undercover raging alcoholic and, drug user, or someone's lying. I would like to think that somebody that makes good business decisions can read people, especially people that are 11 years younger than you, 10 years younger than you. But if you do math with Frank, he had a fiance before Rachel, then Rachel became his fiance, then she's murdered. She's scared of him. She ends up murdered. And her waters were getting muddied over a report that got handed to Frank, but he said he didn't put it out there. And then she's killed within 6 months. Just whoa. Then this girl Megan starts dating Frank. Immediately, literally, I think they start dating in January or February of 2018, just prior to Rachel's murder in May. And Rachel gets murdered on Mother's Day in May. And then within a month, maybe a month and a half, Megan's pregnant. And pretty much for the duration of their relationship, if you count the months, that girl was pregnant with his babies at one time. If it wasn't the first child, then she's literally, pregnant then again just months after with the second child. But she had 2 children under the age of 2 in the house, and he's off being a businessman. Well, let's see what being a businessman means. In 2018, you have to understand something about the town as well, is Beaver County is supposedly this little county that just does everything ass backwards, which is true. But only certain papers, or they're gonna get only a certain coverage. So for example, the Beaver Countyan claim to be all about Beaver, gonna get this, that, and the other. Beaver County has not been speaking at all of anything that's happened since the sentencing of Sheldon. Not a peep. And there's been a lot to speak on. in terms of any of this stuff. I think there was an article that he did about the Ambridge. Yeah. And then maybe one or two small things about God knows what. But we had a couple anniversaries come up again, and there was no mention of, you know, it was the death of JoJo, no mention of that. But yet the Beaver County wants to talk about JoJo, who's Frank's brother's drug career. Vincent Barbuto is still, it's an unsolved homicide. The Beaver County never mentions that the brother got rearrested. Really weird. Again, Frank was questioned for that. So Frank was questioned in the murder of Rachel. Frank then is questioned in 2020 in the murder of Vincent Barbuto. I mean, but this man's running around saying that there should be protection. You know, I am in fear of my life of my 100-pound baby mama. And she neglects the kid. I mean, whatever this man's saying, neglects, abuses. I mean, you can look at a PFA and there's only so much you could claim on somebody. PFAs are not public, so I have no way of telling you what's on it. I can only imagine where his imagination is run. But at the end of the day, I mean, this man is surrounded by death. I mean, his friends are ODing left and right. Yep, that's public knowledge. Look in the obituaries. So this man's like literally surrounded by people that die by the gun, people that die by the blow, people that die, I mean, God knows however else. Pretty much just guns and drugs. So let's talk business. Something that I always thought was interesting when I started doing the Rachel Del Tondo case was about a week after Rachel's murder, it was May 22nd, the Post-Gazette did a piece on Frank. I mean, literally, she was gunned down, murdered on Mother's Day. And then on the 22nd of May, you get this, it's very important for my piece tonight. Right. This piece comes out, and it is literally, it's the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette that does this piece. Oh, thanks, letting me know I reached my limits today. I guess I'm gonna have to buy some access here. Ugh, fuck. Well, good news is that I have a photographic memory. Shoot. So I thought immediately this was strange. This person, even if they interviewed them at some point prior to, the timing is just crazy. Like, he's a person of interest in a horrible, horrible story of his ex-fiance being gunned down in her parents' driveway on Mother's Day at night. But the Post-Gazette wants to run this story. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette wants to run this story about Frank's business. And it was him starting up this, it's called Tier 1 LLC. And it actually started in 2014. And it was about getting into oil, gas, drilling, trucking. It's very interesting actually what it is. Because at the time that he gets into this, and it says it in the article, everybody's getting out of it because it's like literally at like the lowest point. It'd be kind of like getting into real estate back in 2008 when it crashes. So this man is being quoted as saying he's taking risks and all this stuff, and building relationships and, like, you know, going about all these things in 2014, and that basically this article's in 2018, and then it's saying that his phone started ringing off the hook. Business was going to be booming, and business was booming. And you can just go watch the trends of this part of the economy and what he is doing with this business. He has Coast to Coast that he started in 2009. Prior to that, he claimed that he was flipping houses in the Catroppa area and running gambling, on online gambling. I'm not sure if he's putting that down though. But flipping houses, having an auto body shop, not an auto body shop, but a car dealership, used cars, Kennedy Auto Sales. Yeah, 2009 was the Coast to Coast, and that was a big blow up with, you know, when you consolidate your utilities. You guys can read all about Coast to Coast. But then in 2014, he gets this Tier 1 LLC up and running, and off of 51, it runs alongside like Ambridge. You can get there off the bridge. Catroppa, before that's Hopewell. You can get to Monaca. So off of 51, there's this, it's like industrial looking, right alongside of the river, dump that has, you know, just whatever in there, that he is turning into trucking, rental, distribution of gas with drilling. You know what, you'd have to ask him exactly what he did with the company. But you know me, and I just like to dig and find out what's going on here. So I did. Again, I found this was all crazy originally because of this article that came out in 2018 on May 22nd. Look it up for yourself. Type in Frank Cachopa, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, May 22nd article. You could read all about it. And so here we get to the good stuff, which is on February 15th, so like right after Valentine's Day, 2021. This is Tier 1 LLC, Chapter 11, Bankruptcy. Okay. Now, bankruptcy happens, guys. There's nothing wrong with bankruptcy when, you know, I think obviously there's going to be times that people are shady or whatever, but when you take a risk, and the whole purpose of an LLC is to protect yourself individually from, you know, you shouldn't be ever held liable for your businesses. That way people can't come after you personally. You don't personally guarantee stuff. At the end of the day, bankruptcies happen, and no one should be ashamed of bankruptcies. It's part of business. So this has nothing actually to do about anybody filing bankruptcy, number one. This has to do with an article coming out in 2018 talking about how great this company is doing. And then in 2020, when all the PPP loans were going out, this company, who, by the way, in the 2018 article said that the company grew from like 3 to 5 employees to 71 employees at the time of the 2018 article, and that it was across 15 states. I think that's correct. And but then in 2020, everybody knows that, you know, COVID hit, and this company got anywhere between $350,000 and $1 million in a PPP loan. Just this LLC, okay? And again, that would have been sometime in May of 2020. And it was to cover payroll expenses. Then in, now mind you, 2021, February here, I am looking at Chapter 11. Tier 1 is filing bankruptcy. And Chapter 11, you have to know the differences between 7, 9, 11, 13. A Chapter 11, you can start off as an 11 and then you can change to a 7. But what the idea behind a Chapter 11 is that you're going to reorganize your business. So if you have creditors coming after you, what you can do is you can file a Chapter 11 to restructure and reorganize your business so that you can then still operate, still make profit, and try to work with your creditors, okay? And what you're supposed to do then is, I can't believe it's 120 or 180 days from the time you file, and it usually costs around $1,700 to make the filing. You're gonna list out your creditors. You're gonna put your top 20, meaning like the highest amounts that are owed out. And then everybody gets notified, and you're supposed to be working with them on like a repayment structure plan. But you submit like a plan on how you're gonna do this, and you're restructuring things. But it affords you the ability to still operate and still collect profit. And then, usually creditors will work with you because they want to get their money. Now, you have to submit a plan, like I said, within that 120 days to the Bankruptcy Bureau. But you also have the opportunity to change this to a Chapter 7. I believe that's at any point. But something that I thought was really weird about this is, like I said, bankruptcy happens. Shit, COVID wiped out a lot of businesses, and then COVID actually helped a lot of businesses. Shit, if you're in the mask making business, like, woo. But what I found rather interesting about this bankruptcy is the creditors, who's the money owed to. And if anybody's known me from the Waaaatttt case, I dissected the Waaaatttt bankruptcy stuff that happened, I think it was in 2015. And so here, like it says again, you have to fill out this stuff. And the estimated number of creditors Frank puts down is 50 to 99, because you got ranges. And then it says the estimated assets are 100,000 to 500,000. And the estimated liabilities are 1 million to 10 million. Now remember, he gets a PPP loan. She's a 10 is in your head now? Yeah, it should be. So you get this PPP loan, and it's going out to supposedly like these, employees a year ago. Then here, February 15th, we're filing this. And right here it says, declaration and signature of authorized representative of, who would be Frank. It says right here, bankruptcy fraud is a serious crime. Making a false statement in connection with a bankruptcy case can result in fines up to $500,000 or imprisonment up to 20 years. So you really want to make sure you're on your stuff. So this was signed by him and his bankruptcy attorney. And then you get to the page of all of the listed who Frank, or let's just say this way, who Tier 1 owes this money to. And I was looking at this, and I'm like, WTF? Because I came across, now you guys, this is what I need your help with. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. 2018 does this article. You read the article, banging, booming, awesome. That's how Frank makes it seem. Read the article, like I said, it's all right there. So, and then in then in May of whatever year, 2020, he gets it's from anywhere between $350,000 and $1 million. It's public knowledge, go check it out. in a PPP, which I have no idea who got that money. No idea, like, okay, well, what did you pay yourself out of that? Like, are you on payroll? Who's getting PPP money? Just because of what the company does. And I believe the company has a lot of independent contractors. I could be wrong though. So let's talk about these top 20, the list of creditors who have the 20 largest unsecured claims and are not insiders. Not insiders. Well, the first thing that caught my attention right here, when you see DISA Global, 413,777. C&L Enterprises, that's the same amount of money, but this one is disputed. This one's undisputed underneath it. This one's being disputed here. The Berkeley Insurance Company, insurance, 167,000. Okay. So like I said, I'm just looking at, like, you know, I highlighted the different names, and then I'm looking at these amounts, okay? And, you know, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, 15. Frank's LLC, 25,000. I mean, that may have been a startup loan. Then I get to this one, Fact LLC. Okay, so we're gonna start with those first two that I just mentioned. Fact LLC out of New Jersey, and DISA Global out of Houston. Now, Google the shit out of those, and when you do, you're gonna find out that both of those two LLCs, corporations, specialize in drug kits. Like, I mean, look it up yourselves. I had to like take like a double take. And like I said, maybe I was just out in outer space, but who has $600,000, more than, almost $700,000 in, you know, two of your creditors for almost $700,000 are companies that, I mean, look it up. Look at what these companies do. DISA Global, and FACT, Fact LLC. Look those up. Now, why would a guy need or have ever spent almost $700,000? I shouldn't even say, like, he's probably spent more. This is just what this line is up to at this point with two different companies on employee drug testing kits. I mean, is that normal? You guys can tell me. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe they specialize in something else and I missed it, but I'm open to seeing how the crowd feels about the fuck. Exactly. What? But maybe when you guys Google and you guys do some research, you guys can tell me, oh, they also do this. But I mean, I think I did a pretty decent job. So let's move on. I mean, $700,000. Now, the other thing that caught my brain was $167,000 to Berkeley Insurance Company. Berkeley Insurance Company. Okay, how do you owe an insurance company $167,000? I know if I don't pay my car insurance, they give me like maybe like a grace period of 15 days, and then bitch, you gone. Like, we don't play around. So Berkeley Insurance Company, I do know that they offer options to do like stocks but I mean, Berkeley Insurance Company, 167,000, but on here it's being disputed. C&L Enterprises, again, that was the same amount of money for DISA Global. Both of them were 413,771 and 36 cents. Both of those the same amount. Okay, Enterprise. What do you need Enterprise? What do they do? Rent vehicles, right? So let's see. Frank Cachopa has a bunch of trucks for this trucking company, his trucks. He says he has assets between 100,000 and 500,000. I'm guessing he has some trucks. That would be like your assets, probably. Who knows if you own them? I don't know. But trucking, where does Enterprise come in? What do you need from Enterprise? Like, we got to get a bunch of rentals. Maybe you're renting vans. I mean, I don't know. But same thing. He's just running all this stuff on credit cards, basically, guys. Some type of line of credit with these, you know, which it's normal to have, you know, if you're corporations, they will give you corporate stuff, but you're clearly putting this on credit cards because think about this. You think that Frank ran up all of this in 1 year? No, this was over the course of the existence of this business. But I thought this business was banging in 2018. I'm going off of that article. You went from 3 employees or 5 employees in the basement to now it's at 71 employees. Okay. Well, you would have thought that maybe you would have already paid back your original $25,000 investment loan that you have on here. You know, usually like you'd probably paid that back if you were banging and booming. Then we get to things like Job Service North Dakota, offices of the Insurance Commissioner in Pennsylvania, or I'm sorry, in Charleston, West Virginia. You're putting your accountant in here, but there's no, I'm trying to look for professional legal, like you're not including your, when you had this business, did you not have a lawyer that, WSI, oh, Westmoreland County Landfill, 93,000. Okay, so then after you read these, which is the top 20, again, just mind-blowing. Then you actually look at this is the, anybody that when you do a bankruptcy, you get the name and address of all the places because you have to send them their notices. Again, those are just the top or the highest 20. So when I pulled in the rest of it and I looked at these lovely addresses, because there's going to be stuff that's not on there, I came across all this health shit. Like, for example, Allegheny Medical, Axon Medical Consulting, Higher Right, Med Express Urgent Care, Office of Unemployment Compensation, Pennsylvania Department of Labor and Industry, Offices of the Insurance Commissioner, Charleston, West Virginia, Ohio Bureau of Workmen's Compensation, Oil and Gas Safety Supply, People's Gas Quality Auto Parts, Remark Promotions, Republic Services, Route 51 Auto and Truck Parts, MWAA, Sanford Health Occupational Medicine, the American Road Machinery Company, United Healthcare, Verizon. I mean, when you actually go through and you see all of this stuff typed out, I'm like, the motherfucker wasn't paying any of his bills. He was just, well, he was or he wasn't. I don't know what he was doing, but he was just racking up a shit ton of debt with this company. But when I say like he wasn't paying bills, like Verizon's on here. He wasn't paying, I mean, how is Verizon on here? Same with them. They're just gonna shut your shit off. So maybe all of this came at the tail end. But once again, I go back to Berkeley Insurance of $167,000. So can some people out there help me help you make sense of this complete fucking mess? Now, again, I can only go off of what this industry that he was in is. But what if this wasn't the industry that he was in? I mean, this is a very, very interesting, you know, to piece some things together with this information on what could have been, you know, had and going on over there off of 51. And again, literally less than, let's see, it would have been 10 months. After 10 months of receiving that PPP, slaps on the Chapter 11 bankruptcy, which still allows him to operate, and you can still do things like, you know, you're supposed to do things that you would ordinarily do. So hypothetically speaking, could you just go and sell off like 10 of your trucks? I mean, you could, but that's not how your businesses ran. And if that's not part of your business plan, that's, you know, that's why on like a Chapter 7, you liquidate things to then pay people off, stuff like that. You're put on like a repayment plan with things, but the Chapter 11, basically, when you have money, buys you time. Because like I said, you have 120 days to come up with a plan. Whereas like a Chapter 7, you have 2 weeks to like try to make deals with people. Or they're gonna start like liquidating your assets and starting to pay people. Yeah, you're gonna keep things like a house and like a vehicle. So with that loan followed by bankruptcy, would he have to pay the loan back? See, the PPP loans were, you don't have to pay them back because it's going for your payroll. But what if you laid people off? What if you laid people off and you weren't paying them? I just know in a lot of the trucking industry, depending on literally how he's doing it, you could deal with a lot of 1099 people because they're independent contractors because of the whole liability. I mean, it just depends on how this man set that part up about it. But if people are driving like his trucks, then that's different. Because like with an independent contractor, hey, I need you to deliver this, and this. Oh, you have a van? Okay, yeah, you can use that to this. You'd actually have to ask the man, myth, and the legend what exactly his company did. But I can tell you what they did not do, and that's pay their bills. Now, I would love to know I want to know how you rack up $167,000 with an insurance company. I mean, can somebody explain that to me? Can somebody explain almost $700,000 is here and says that it went for employee drug kits. Like, tell me I'm reading this wrong. I mean, type it in your little keypads and type in Westmoreland County landfill, 93,000. Landfill, that's where you're just dumping everything, so you got to pay to dump your shit. I mean, who lets people run up these kind of bills? I need to get into this business and let me keep all my money and not pay. And just, I mean, Berkeley Insurance Company, 167,000. DISA Global Solutions out of Houston, Texas, $413,000 and some change. And then when you add that with the other place that does the same damn thing, 700,000 in drug testing your employees. Please explain to me how anybody could possibly. Let's spread it out though over the course from 2014 to 2020 to 2021, which in 2020 you clearly weren't working, you got your PPP loan, whatever. I want to know who spent $700,000. Like, could you? No, he doesn't have any degree. He barely graduated high school. I don't even know. Maybe he got his GED. But I'm just curious in how this happens and happens so rapidly. Unless you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and because you're in some shit. I don't know. But this right here, I just question the people that, I mean, hey, your business could have tanked all great dandy well, is COVID or what have you. But this isn't from 1 year of COVID. These expenses aren't from 1 year of COVID. Also, you're supposed to have, and there's supposed to be other, like the plan's supposed to be with this. Your expenses are supposed to be like nailed down. None of that's in here. Again, that you do have the 120 days, I believe. But what it is past that, I think. Well, he has 6 months, so 950. Oh, so right now, 9 months, or what is it? No, 6 months. He has 120 days to get that plan in that these creditors are willing to like look at. And during that time, he can still function. But if you add 6 months from February, I believe, you know, that would have been last month in August. That something would have been happening, you know. But yeah, did anybody type in what DISA Global Solutions is good for besides drug testing? Anybody? Anybody? So if he actually hauls trash, then yeah, I mean, you could have some pretty pricey drug tests and lab costs. Wait, what? So you're saying if he's hauling trash? I mean, this is stuff to like, okay, so this is the other thing, is you have 71 employees listed, 71. How often are you drug testing these people? Every month, bitches are getting, every week we drug test. I mean, maybe they're testing their drugs. I don't know. But I literally, if people think this is okay, then I just think that there's some questions that probably need some answers as to why and how somebody spent $700,000. And then let's talk about Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Duquesne Light Company, where you're not paying this is just bills. I mean, Bob Sermol Tire Company. Give Bob a call from Cincinnati, Ohio. Ask him how much tier 1 owes him. We'll pick up the tab for him. Checking for drug purity. Yeah, that's what I said. I said, could that be what's going on? STD testing. I mean, I don't know. You guys, like I said, maybe I'm the ignorant one here, but if you have 71 employees, and we're just like, and then what's all this medical shit? Did somebody die? Did somebody hire right out of California? Hunters Trucking and Sales Service, Job Service North Dakota, Med Express Urgent Care in Morgantown. Somebody had to go to the urgent care in Morgantown. Why are you, I guess I don't understand. Did tier 1 need a facelift? I don't know. I mean, because you have this insurance for $167,000. Ohio Bureau of Workmen's Compensation. You clearly stop paying bills. I mean, down here, down the street, Spring Street, Columbus, Ohio. I don't know, guys. It's just, I'm late. Who's testing? We're all testing each other for STDs and drug purity. And when you add all this stuff up, guys, it is, and were they just continuing to like dig for oil and just run up a bill? Like, was there any money coming in, or was this just a front? What's the rent there? Did you buy the place with cash? Were you renting the 51 space there? Because I believe you bought that. I'd have to double check my records, so I'm just curious. Where'd all the money go that you were making from this company? Well, we just pocket the money, or we had to pay for this other business called Cosmos. I just don't. When would you stop the bleeding? I mean, we might as well just keep not paying our creditors and keep on making as much money as we can until max everything out. Get as much product as we can. Get as many drug test kits as we can so that we can sell them on the black market. I mean, I literally have no idea. I don't, just weird shit. But businessman, the wolf, no. Good business people, this doesn't happen. This slop shit doesn't happen. I don't think any good business person buys $700,000 worth of drug screening kits. Drug testing only costs about $30 per employee and only needs done for pre-employment. And if there is suspicion or an accident, it doesn't add up. Exactly. Like I said, are you drug testing people daily? Every one of our employees, we drug test morning, noon, and night. Damn it. You're not getting behind. We put breathalyzers in our trucks. Like, I mean, I don't know. But who lets somebody rack up this type of, like, if you're putting this all on a credit card, I think then it would say, like, American Express, I owe $190,000 to. You know, I have a black card with this and I owe them. I just think it's, you guys, the reason that this is even a topic of conversation tonight is because of that 2018 article that literally the girl responsible for putting that out 8 days, you know, after the murder, what? Number one. Number two, you're talking about him being this amazing businessman and him taking these risks, and he writes in it that you have to be able to, it's like literally weather the storms of, like, read the shit. And Oh, our phones are ringing off the hook. Yeah, I bet. For those drugs, for those drug tests. Hey, can you come down and drug test all of our employees? We just bought all your drugs. We gotta make sure we're gonna pass these tests. I don't know. Just whack shit. This guy is going to hate life when you're done with him. He probably never dreamed he'd be exposed like this. I'm not... I question the person that signed their name to this. Like, a lawyer did this. You know, but I don't think a lawyer is going to be responsible for the fact that this was a laundering front. But we'll get there. Just think about all the problems in Waaaatttt right now in Beaver County and that area. Mass drugs being found. You know, type in DA Lozier and his, you know, we just found a house with this amount of money in it. And we just had this big drug bust, and we had this and we had that. It's like, oh my God, all this drugs. How are all these drugs getting in there? I don't know, a trucking company would be a great way to, you know, truck some shit in there. But it's like, tier 1, I was hoping to see some good shit on here. Like, well, we went to the strip club and I took all my employees there for lap dances for the Christmas bonus. Like, that would have been fun. Well, you guys have to answer it for me. In the rental cars, I mean, unless you're renting like from, I mean, I'm sure from Enterprise you could probably get whenever you're in a jam or something and a truck breaks down and you need something or you need to rent a van. But you're clearly running corporate lines with these people, and I just have to ask them. When I owned a bar, I couldn't keep running lines of credit with, let's say, I don't know, one of my food distributors. Like, all that stuff was always cash on delivery. COD, boo. I mean, you might be able to work like 1 week in the rears, but that's not how they like to do things because of these reasons. This is just a lot of money. But hey, what do I know? There is a new Beav in town. Hashtag that shit. I mean, I don't know what the Beav's been doing, but clearly not his homework. He's too busy. He's too busy in chat love with Natasha and her recliner. Things must be quiet. Must be bored over there in wherever Mercer you're at. I know you ain't in Waaaatttt. I know you don't get out to those parts. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just right in front of your fucking faces. But no one wants to say shit about it. Well, I'm gonna say shit about it. I wonder if Megan got a piece of that PPP pie. Hey, babe, were you a secretary? Sure, now here you go. Just curious on who all got in on that PPP money. Because if you do the math, because I love math. Do the math on 71 employees. If you give all of them $10,000, and what's the PPP cover? I mean, wouldn't that be like 171,000? Is that right math? I think. What would be the math on that? I'm fucking dead. Let's read some of these. Oh, I'm so happy someone finally has the beeve to call him out. You would think he would notice the cash flow statement always in the red. I don't know. I like this one. Drug testing only costs about $30 per employee. So some of their businesses is Frank Cav. You know, guess that we'll just leave that for part two. Part two. I am born and raised in Alcoba. We're just scratching the surface here. Beaver County is an absolute clown show. It's sad and embarrassing. Happy you decided to blow it up. Well, by fucking God, I got some love up in this bitch. Alcoba loves me. I love them. A lot of amazing people there. You know, I just think greedy people always get caught. Slop tarts always get caught. And, you know, like I said, this ain't about filing bankruptcy. This is about legitimacy, and this is about connecting dots. And hey, you wanted to be interviewed about for some broad from the Post-Gazette talking about this amazing company and how people were running from this, and you went for it because you got to be able to weather the storm, and that you did, and that you took out all the competition, and that everybody was coming to you, and the phone was ringing off the hook. Well, why did the phone stop ringing off the hook? What'd you do with all the phone ringing off the hook? Maybe it was Kevin Gates' 2 phones. Maybe those are the phones that were ringing off the hook. Oh shit, Lana, not tonight. Not tonight. Wow. Yeah. There's really not much to say other than you got to really look at those figures. I mean, I really feel bad for Bob Smirndell or whatever his name. He's never going to see a fucking penny. Boss Solutions in Smithville, PA. Atlantic Recovery Services. So that's probably $16,266. That's probably from one of his credit cards with them. Because that's like a third. That's like we sent that shit. Let's see. He couldn't pay for, so no one's calling. Well, he needs to listen to Kevin Gates here.
Hello?
One of my favorites by Kevin Gates here.
What the deal?
What the deal? You rounding us up.
Big. I got 2 phones, one for the plug and one for the load. I got 2 phones, one for the bitches and one for the dough. Think I need 2 more. Line popping, I'm ring, ring, ring. Count money while it ring, ring, ring. Trap jumping, I'm ring, ring, ring. I got 2 phones, one for the plug and one for the load. I got 2 phones, one for the bitches and one for the dough. Think I need 2 more. Line popping, I'm ring.
They must be ring, ring, ringing. La, 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 la. What's the actual, I don't even know what the actual product is. It was hard to understand what the actual product is because of all the craziness in the spending. Maybe, I mean, I don't. You would think a daycare with all this insurance. Can you imagine Frank being the godfather of the daycare center? Godfather Daycare. Come one, come all. Where your kids learn how to make it in the quip.
Button start to furrin', oh my God, I'm gorgeous. I just put the key inside my pocket, might not get to see it. This a new Ferrari, man in the mirror. How you choose to bother? Someone said it calling. I don't feel like talking. Everything could get returned the way I bought.
Yeah. Labor is pay as soon as service is rendered. Yeah, no, there's definitely, I don't think there was any issues with him paying his people, whoever they are. The issues came in with all the drug testing. $700,000 in drug testing. I mean, maybe they were testing the products, that they were, the oil. Maybe they have to test, like, you know, that it's not too potent. I don't fucking know. I just, whatever. It's just priceless shit that just, you know, one of those things that, again, when you see somebody's life on Facebook and you think they got it all and they're throwing bottle service down their nanny's throat while she's in the pool watching the kids. Now that's some classy shit. You'll see that on my TMZ channel. Maybe they had to give the guys pregnancy tests also. Yeah. I don't even know what to say, guys. I don't. Because I was trying to find a way that, okay, here, like I said, you can file bankruptcy and hey, this all makes sense, but the thing that just wasn't adding up, you know, was who the money's owed to. Like all this insurance shit. And I also find it interesting that he owes his accountant $6,500, but there's no talks on here about owing his lawyer. Not his bankruptcy attorney, because you have to pay that up front. But everybody, when they're usually in business, like everybody knows, Frank has a lawyer, so you're getting like legal advice with certain things. There's no lawyer that said that he owed money, so he always made sure that Cauliflower Rocka motherfucker was paid, and the judges were paid, and everybody else, fuck our accountant. Go, I can figure it out. So anyways, can't say some of these. Anyways, love you guys all. This was part 1 of businessman or bust. You know, I think he did a lot better with his online gambling. You know, but up next, let's talk about his other businesses. Until next time, well, I'll go to the any questions, any statements. Those of you guys that are lurking in the background, feel free to say, Lana, you're a fucking moron, and DISA Global Solutions is for he bought semi trucks. So, I mean, I don't know. How much is a flatbed going for? I mean, I'm just curious. And there's only 3 disputed, by the way. 65,000, at least 125,000. Curious. What's he hauling? I don't know, oil, gas. I have people. I don't know. He's hauling people. He's hauling strippers. That'd be great. He's having Meals on Wheels, stripper style. I don't know. You'd have to ask Frank what he's hauling, but clearly not what was needed to pay any of his creditors. So I don't know. Oil and drug tests. He was hauling around drug tests. They were hot off the back. Stay kind and chat love. Love you guys. Keep it real. Go have some sex tonight. Stop talking about people's sex life. Go practice making babies, even if you can't. You know, what is it? Thursday night? Tomorrow's Friday. Fuck yeah. The tanks for fuel are pricey as well. What? the tanks for the fuel. Where I don't see BP Petroleum. I gotta go. Love you all. Be kind in chat. Love. What's he hauling? Pee by the pound. No doubt. Yeah. See you soon.